Hello and welcome back to Playful Pedagogy. I'm Maureen and this is the second video in the series on Harvard Project Zero's visual thinking routines. But before I get into it, I want to tell you a story. I was doing a science unit on simple machines with my learners. They already knew they were going to build a model catapult. I had teased that earlier to build some excitement for the unit, and I wanted to get them thinking before we got into the practical work. So I found this photograph, a beautifully detailed image of an ancient wooden catapult, full of texture and history, and I dropped it into my slides. But they didn't see the whole thing, not yet. What appeared on the screen was just one small piece of it, the bucket, the curved wooden cup at the end of the arm designed to hold and launch a load, cropped in close, completely stripped of context. And I asked, "What do you see?" "A bowl, a dish, something to put soup in." Then I revealed a little more. Now they could see the curve of the wood, a flash of metal hardware, the suggestion of something larger beyond the frame. "Now what do you think?" "A wooden spoon?" someone offered. Then, with great confidence, "A ladle!" The class laughed. Several learners agreed, yeah, a ladle. And I asked, "What made you change your mind?" "Well, now there's this kind of handle, so ladle." More of the image appeared, metal chains next to the wood. And someone in the back leaned forward, whispering, "I think I know what it is." I gave him the international quiet sign, a wink and a smile. Then the full image, a towering medieval catapult, aged and enormous, the bucket now clearly just one small piece of a magnificent machine. The room erupted. The student who'd figured it out looked quietly triumphant. The ladle theorist laughed the loudest. And before I could ask another question, the wonders were already coming in. How old is it? What did it throw? Does it still work? Where is it? That routine is called Zoom In, and it is one of my absolute favorites in the Visual Thinking Routines toolkit. They knew, of course, exactly why I had chosen that image. We were going to build catapults, but the zoom in added to the fun, and it had them thinking about the different parts of a catapult and how those parts fit together before they'd even touched a piece of wood. That is the magic of a well-chosen image and a well-timed reveal of zoom in. So what exactly is zoom in? It's a visual thinking routine, a VTR, that uses slow, deliberate reveal of an image to build close observation, interpretive thinking, and genuine curiosity. Rather than showing an image all at once, you reveal it in stages, crop by crop, piece by piece, pausing after each one to give learners think time, then ask them what they notice, what they think, and crucially, how their thinking is changing. It comes from Making Thinking Visible, a landmark book by Richard Morrison and Church, published in 2011, which grew directly out of decades of research by Project Zero. And it remains one of the most practically powerful routines in that whole collection. In my classroom, it genuinely never gets old. The structure is beautifully simple, and the preparation is really what makes it work. First, choose your image carefully. The best zoom-in images have layers, details that are genuinely ambiguous close up, elements that shift in meaning the more that is revealed, and a full picture that rewards patience. Historical photographs, scientific images, works of art, and political cartoons all work beautifully. So this is a visual thinking routine that can be used across subjects. Then, once you have chosen your image, divide that image into stages. You don't need exactly 4 reveals, but 4 tends to work well. Think about what each reveal gives away and what it withholds. Be strategic. The first crop should be genuinely ambiguous. Each successive reveal adds information, but doesn't necessarily resolve the question until the end. In PowerPoint or Google Slides, the simplest method is to place your full image in the slide and then layer back shapes over the sections you want to hide, removing each one as you reveal. You can duplicate the slide and crop a little bit more each time, or you can add on the boxes and then remove them as you go. At each stage, ask, "What do you see? What do you think this is? What made you change your mind? What do you still wonder?" And that question, "What made you change your mind?" That is at the heart of this routine. It makes the thinking more visible. Learners aren't just looking at an image, they're thinking about what is changing as the image progresses, noticing how new evidence shifts their interpretation. It's a genuinely sophisticated cognitive skill, practiced in a context that feels kind of like a game, a challenge. So, what makes zoom in different than see, think, wonder? Even though on the surface they may seem really similar. Well, it does several thinking jobs at the same time. It launches patience and slow looking. Oh no. It teaches patience and slow looking. We live in a world that rewards fast answers and fast thinkers. Zoom in deliberately slows everything down. It kind of evens the playing field. Learners discover that first impressions matter and that looking more carefully is always worth it. It makes revision visible and valued. When a student moves from wooden bowl to ladle to catapult bucket, they're not failing. They're thinking. They're reevaluating. They're revising and thinking again. The routine celebrates changed minds, not just correct answers. And in a school environment that can sometimes feel like mistakes are signs of weakness, that is quietly radical. It is a thinking routine that genuinely values a growth mindset. And it builds real suspense. The reveal structure creates low-stakes, dramatic arcs. Learners are invested. They want to know. They lean forward. They're wondering what exactly is going to happen, what's going to be the reveal, and that is the exact emotional state in which learning happens best. For those of us working with language learners, I want to add one more thing. Zoom in offers something particularly valuable. The ambiguity of each reveal invites participation at every level. A student with limited language can still point, gesture, or offer even a single word. The image does the heavy lifting. And sentence frames, I think this, because I can see, I changed my mind when. They give learners the scaffolding to express genuinely complex thinking in language that they are still acquiring. The thinking is real, and the language grows to meet it. Now, the playful twist. Zoom in is already playful by nature. The slow reveal creates suspense. Wrong guesses are celebrated, and the aha moment is genuinely satisfying. But here are some ways to turn the dial up. Choose an image that gets wilder as it zooms out. Start with something that looks completely ordinary, a patch of gray, a bit of texture, and pull it back to reveal something absurd or unexpected. Learners who think they're being very sensible will find themselves completely wrong in the best possible way, and hilariously so. Go deep with a rich layered image. A protest photograph, a street scene from a century ago, a scientific image of something seen under a microscope. Images like these don't just reveal, they unfold. The wonders they generate can carry a whole lesson and beyond, and oftentimes will tell a story in and of themselves. Make it a game. Treat the reveal as a guessing challenge. Learners earn points, or tokens, or bragging rights for observations that turn out to be significant later. This rewards careful looking, not just guessing, and it sends the message to the class, this detail will matter, pay attention. Play with extreme close-ups. Find macro photographs of everyday objects, the surface of a strawberry, the eye of an insect, the fibers of a piece of cloth. This works across every subject and every age group, and it's genuinely fun. I've seen these in magazines before, and I'm always challenged to figure out what they are. And let the learners run it. Once your class knows the routine, ask them to find their own zoom-in images, divide them into reveals, and then run the routine for the class. They become the teachers. They have to think about what to show first, what to withhold, what will mislead in interesting ways. The act of designing the reveal itself is a profound thinking exercise, and they love the power that it gives them. So before I go, I want to invite you to try this out. Find an image connected to something your class is currently exploring, something with layers. Divide it into 4 pieces, maybe in a PowerPoint or Google Slides, and then decide on the reveal order. Show only the first crop and ask, what do you see? And just watch and listen. Watch how learners commit to an interpretation and how they revise it when new evidence arises. Watch for the student who figures it out early and sits with that quiet satisfaction while everyone else catches up. Watch for your own ladle theorist, laughing loudest when the full picture appears. The thinking you see in those moments is real. It's happening, and it will happen again the next time you use this routine, because each image is a new mystery, and the slow reveal never gets old. If something unexpected, funny, or playful happens when you try this, please tell me about it in the comments below. I genuinely am interested in what else happens out there with these visual thinking routines. Next up in the series, compass points, navigating options, perspective, and the beautiful complexity of what learners actually think. I'll see you there. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a day full of play, and I'll see you next time. Bye!